on my face. Oh yeah, we are rolling, baby! Hi guys and welcome to the channel. I am Riccardo, aka the Mad Hatter, and I'm the co-host of the channel with Alessandro, which you're gonna see in a second in the upcoming video, but this is just an intro, both for the video and the channel. So, in the past years, me and Alessandro dropped our previous career to pursue our dream, which is video making and photography. We are facing a lot of challenges as we're starting out, and we want to share our experience with you. So, we don't want to inspire anyone. I mean, we are nobodies at the moment, but what we want to do is share the real challenges that we're facing to possibly let you know that it's actually possible to change your life, no matter your age, no matter your background. So please, if you like this video and you feel that in any way your experience is similar to yours, or just you're planning to completely change your life, please let us know in the comments below. We would love to see that. As well, leave a thumb up to the video if you enjoyed it, so that we know that this is something you would like to see more in the upcoming weeks. And subscribe to the channel for other than this sort of podcast, we're also dropping vlogs to share day-to-day experience, as well as tutorials on DaVinci Resolve, Photoshop, basically all the programs that we use on a day-to-day basis, as well as all reviews for all the tech and gear that we're buying. So that is what this channel is gonna focus about. If you want to know a bit more about that, you can find our Instagrams down in the description below. But in general, we're gonna shoot one video together each week, plus 2 solo videos basically. So you're gonna have 3 videos a week. We don't know exactly the schedule right now, but you're gonna see it in a couple of days, possibly. But without further ado, please enjoy the video and let's jump into it. Okay, we're recording. Everything's set. Cheers. Is that in coffee? Yes.
Formaggio.
Nice. Oh, here I am.
Nicely cold.
Okay, perfect. Say hi to Instagram.
Ciao!
Ok. A posto, ti taggo, pubblichiamo e possiamo partire.
Ciao mamma, sono in TV! Cioè che faccio anch'io una storia.
Is it a video or a photo?
It's a video. I'm recording a video e si è frizzato un cazzo di telefono.
Insalata caprese!
Tecnologia c'ho io.
So, first of all, welcome everyone. Welcome. Merry birthday to every one of you. Merry birthday to you, Alessandro. Welcome everyone. I am Riccardo.
And I'm Alessandro.
Okay.
And this is...
Mamma mia! And we're gonna stop, cut, and make the intro here.
Make an intro.
Mamma mia!
Okay, so this is the first video in the channel. Okay, this is a big day for us.
Yeah.
And yeah.
In 2021 is a good moment to start a YouTube channel. Huh?
Yeah, definitely start a new business, new channel, whatever. We are perfectly on time. We are businessmen.
Yeah, especially YouTube is a new platform where to post videos. So
if you don't know it, it's incredible. By the way, I think you're watching this on Facebook or something, possibly.
Yeah, or Twitter, something like
that.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a Netlog.
Netlog, yes. Yeah. Watching this on Netlog.
I don't know. I don't know if it was a platform on the Italian platform or whatever.
No, I think it was worldwide, and right now you should be
worldwide.
You should have been acquired by MSN, possibly. I think it still exists in some way, Netlog. But yeah, in Italy it was basically sort of a Tumblr. Yeah, Tumblr. A precursor of Tumblr, but for basically nude posting and stuff.
Yeah, but it was a kind of blog post, aka Tinder, because I
also
found
Tinder,
a lot of girls. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And I was so Zagro. Fuck.
Definitely.
Kind of Piccoldino.
Exactly. And if you're wondering what we are doing and why we're talking about this, is just that this is the first video and it should be about how we changed our life basically in the last year or so. And yeah, what a better way to start by rambling around stuff that nobody cares about, so that I think if there were two people watching this, we would already lost them.
Yeah, me and you.
Exactly. And we dropped out
And
of
the
this video
girlfriends.
right away, for it was
I
too
don't
boring.
even know if our girlfriend will watch it.
I don't think so. They don't like us so much. Definitely.
They're
not so much.
embarrassed. Yeah, so embarrassed.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, so we changed our lives in the past years without any joke or something. We both came from a college reality. We had different job experience, and we dropped everything possibly. I would say
Yeah.
we dropped.
Yeah.
We dropped
School,
all that we studied.
job. Yeah.
Exactly.
All the background.
Yeah, all that made our background, or that might have been our past stream, etc. We dropped it, but for a very specific reason. I would say, and let me know if I'm wrong, but we both felt like in a cage by doing office job.
Yeah.
We felt like we were not expressing ourselves, and we felt the need to realize ourselves, to stand out in a way.
But we have also two different kind of background, because I quit the job and basically you quit the college. So
yeah, exactly.
so
two different steps basically of our lives.
Yeah, we can start to talk maybe from you. You can talk about your college or your decision, so we can go through from college to work, and then let's see what happened.
So basically, I was born in a rainy night in December, and from there it was all a big downfall. No kidding, no story of my life, but just to make a brief recap of what happened. I grew up wanting to be a sea biologist. Okay, I wanted to go out and study shark, like Jacques Cousteau. But fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, relatives of mine were both biologists, and they basically convinced me to drop that career, simply because in Italy there's no way to go further with it and aspire to make a nice career. And that's not I don't want to mean that you should drop your career.
And that's incredible. And that's incredible, because we have a lot of sea, coast, whatever, so
yeah, but we have no money for research. We spend a lot in I don't want to curse or nothing.
In drugs.
I might skip this part, for I don't want to curse. But yeah, so basically I went to high school, and from there I felt like I was obliged to go to college then to complete my education. And so the choice was between medicine, okay, and going to be a surgeon, and going to study mechanical engineering, which were at the time one of my biggest passion, mechanical engineering, and one of my biggest dream because of family background and whatever, but for surgery. But for both of them, I mean, for surgery, I basically talked with other surgeons, other friends who started that back then, and I felt like it wasn't my route in terms of what I would have had to drop to follow that career. So if you want to be a surgeon, chances are you're not gonna have a huge family. You're not gonna spend that much time with your family if you're gonna have one. For majority of the day, it's gonna be surgery and hospital. And that's not what I want for myself. I value a lot the time that I spend with my family and with my friends, and I want to be able to dedicate them the proper time that I think they need. So the choice was mechanical engineering, but just to recap it was my third choice at that point. Okay, not biology, not medicine, mechanical engineering, which still was a huge passion of mine. It still is. I mean, I think it's too blurry right now, but I have a ton of Lego techniques back there, so it's still something that I keep doing in a way. And but yeah, I started like that, and I felt stuck right from start. Okay, there was minor exams that I liked, but most of them were boring. And once the chance of getting my degree get closer, and I start seeing friends of mine starting to work, maybe creating pumps for refrigerator implants, or creating boards and whatever, which is actually what you're likely going to be doing if you study mechanical engineering. Although you start thinking, okay, I'm gonna work for Ferrari, I'm gonna create the best motor in the world, I'm gonna win races. That's what you
I feel you.
What you start like, and then you're thrown in this world where you are gonna probably create, design the best possible thread for a board, which I swear can be interesting. But that's not what I want to do on a daily basis, okay? That's a one-time thing that I can do, yeah, that's fine, that's nice, but not, I can do boards and do my entire life, definitely. And so basically, I started getting stuck, and I lost 1 year and then 2. In the meantime, I started working, to pay my college for myself. And with that, I started, building my passions outside of mechanical engineering. For back then, I used to go to ride motorcycle a lot, which was one of the reasons why I got into mechanical engineering. But on the other hand, I started flying with racing drones. So basically, 2 different hobbies that in common had high speed and the will to crash high expensive things into a brick wall. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but with the racing drones, I started filming my flights with a GoPro. But back then, I had a GoPro 3, which was not the best one, but neither the worst one back then. And with that, I started doing my first edits, which was something that I already did. For example, while going with motorbike, I did, I think the first editor that software that I used was iMovie on my old iMac.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically just stitching things together, putting there some audio and whatever. And I think they're still available on YouTube on a forgotten channel, which I will not link down in the description below for you to see, definitely. Yeah. And yeah, so that's how I started basically. I started stitching together videos, and once I got the newer GoPro, the 6, once it came out, I bought the 6 Black, which had Pro Tune and the possibility to record in flat profile. So I started going with color grading, and thanks to a friend of ours, I discovered DaVinci Resolve, which he uses on a daily basis for social media content. And I was basically searching for a new tool for iMovie. Was not a reasonable way to go for color grading. And so he said, that there's this software, it's still developing. It's not that new, but it has a free version, and you should try it. And that's what I did. I think I started with the 13th or 14th version, 13th maybe, and that's how I started. And from there, I started adding more and more. I started stitching together, trip vlogs, some videos, whatever. Basically, whatever I could film, I filmed it. And in the meantime, one thing I didn't talk about previously, I had a reflex camera that an uncle of mine gifted me back in the first years of high school. So I always did photography and stuff, so I had a feel for it in a way. But during college years, I basically dropped photography. It wasn't possible for me to pursue that route. I didn't have time for that, definitely. But once I started filming, I started to feel the need to shoot. And on the other hand, my girlfriend is a huge photography sucker, and she bought a camera back in the first year of high school and started shooting a lot. So I went with her a lot of times while she was shooting, and so this, in a way, woke my passion for
helped
that.
You,
yeah. So it woke the passion that I had silent in me, and that's how I ended up buying a mirrorless for my own. and from there I basically decided that that's what I wanted to do. So 2 years ago, I decided that that was my route, and I dropped out of college. For I knew that as long as I stayed there, that would block me in a way.
Yeah.
I don't want to say you don't have to have a plan B. For, as I said, I was working during college and I kept up work. I still work there as part-time. I want to keep consistency with what I do, and as long as I have time to do both, it's something I like, that I enjoy do. So there's no way to drop out of there. But college was definitely blocking me. It was incredibly expensive, was super time consuming, and it was not allowing me to study and practice for what I really want to do. So I dropped college, and in 2 years, I'm quite proud of what I did. I'm definitely quite proud. But before we jump into what I'm doing now, I'd like to know how I think it should be fair to know your story.
Yeah. So my path was a bit different. Since when I was kid, I decided to be an architect. I was playing Lego. So he was playing with Lego Technic and I was playing with Lego. Since when I was a kid, so I was drawing like my fantasy houses or whatever. And then I decided to go to the high school, and there I studied arts and design. And then I went to the college and I started to study architecture. And after 6 years I graduated, and my future was planned. And as you mentioned, I was a bit, I had this fantasy about architecture, so I was thinking, wow, when I will be graduated, I will start to do amazing architecture, like super houses or whatever, museums or incredible stuff, like almost working for NASA. And but when I jumped into the reality, it was completely different. I started to felt like a normal employee in an office, working 8 to 10 hours per day in front of a computer, and I was saying, I have to push this, because maybe in 2 years, 3 years I will be a freelancer and I will start to do my job, But no, actually after 3 years I was so depressed about my career, because it's way far from what I thought at the beginning. So in the meanwhile, during my college, I started to do photography, but as a hobby. I was doing photography with my smartphone. I started with the iPhone 4, and then I jumped to Canon 200D. The Rebel, I think, is the Rebel in USA.
I think the Rebel is actually the 1100. So the Rebel should be the 1100 and 200D. I don't know them all, but basically the small reflex.
Whatever.
The best of the entry level cameras.
It was so small, like super light. Was kind of mirrorless. And since then they give me during my graduation, I think. I don't remember. Anyway, almost 3 years ago. And since then I started to do more complex photos. I started to understand better the composition in photography. I mean, I was already prepared with composition and colors and materiality, whatever, because during architecture you start to think about composition. Also you start to think about architecture with images, because you do renders, you do sketches, whatever. And in this way I developed a bit of knowledge of the image.
You also paint. But I remember you also paint. So
that background I also I did some paintings in my past, and was a bit conceptual painting. I don't know how to say in English, but
sort of impressionist in a way.
Impressionist, and but I was composing colors, and I was using some ways perspective to do these kind of images. And so while I was working, I was taking some pictures as a hobby, and then I said, fuck, but I'm feeling like something is
and everything.
Something was not going well with my career.
Commercial?
Commercial.
Okay, perfect. So basically, we cut to
Coffee break.
Yeah, coffee break or commercial. Let's see if there's someone that is willing to pay us. Maybe the Instagram photographer who's shooting asses and calls himself a professional. That should be a nice sponsor for the video.
Yeah. And anyway, I was saying, after a while I started to feel like something was wrong with my career, was with my job, and then I started to say, I would like to be a photographer maybe. I'm feeling very creative with photography because I can do whatever I want. I can use my camera to represent in some ways the world as I see it. And it was a kind of painting for me because I was trying to represent the reality in a different way. Or maybe I used to lose myself maybe in details or looking at specific context in an image in general. So with the photography I was able to do that. And after a while, I said, I have to make a change. And luckily I lost my job. And during
You're
this
the first
COVID
person to say
time,
this, in the history of people.
Yeah, yeah. So be happy if you lose your job. And I lost my job and I started to search again architecture offices. And meanwhile I moved to Zurich from Italy. So I'm a foreign here. I love Zurich. I love Switzerland. Give me a big permit, please. I beg you. And meanwhile I had these problems with the language because here you have to learn German and it's difficult. You have to study many years to be fluent in German. And I say
You're starting to get the accent, by the way.
I have the accent. Oh shit.
Yeah, you're starting to get the German accent. Yes, definitely. Oh, don't worry.
Ich habe keine Akzent. And I said maybe it's a good moment to quit architecture and start to do photography. So in the meanwhile I start to read a book as an Italian writer, and he talks about the digital nomad and the way that he quit the job and they start to travel and try to find out an alternative way to survive, to live, working in a different ways. And I felt like, hey, but maybe I should do that. Maybe I should live a life that is a bit different and not so already structured. Because everyone in Italy says, you have to study to the college, you have to go to the college, you have to study and be graduated and then work for your entire life in an office with a full-time job, super secure, whatever. And after
so in Italy
a
we
while,
say the posto-fissitudine, so the full-time permanent job.
Yeah, and after that I start to feel like in a jail because you live in a life that is so well structured and you have to do this, only this, because everyone says you have to do that. So I say no, I don't want to do that. So I decide to quit in some ways, to leave architecture on my back, even if I'm shooting mainly architecture and I'm also trying to become an architectural photographer, but in general everything. But I don't want to be anymore an architect in an office because it's so painful for my wellness, for my brain, and you start to live a second life in some ways, because then you go to work, you come back in late night and you don't have any time to do what you want. I was not having time to go out and shoot, for example, and it was quite painful for myself, for me.
Yeah, and that's interesting how you mentioned that. Yeah, in Italy, and I guess this is true also in most of Europe and America right now. But there's this continuous need to follow some determined path for you. You feel this pressure to reach certain goals in life at a certain age also, because one thing that is important in Italy is that, for example, if you start to be late, then you start feeling guilty for it. I mean, it's sad to mention, but I don't know
Yeah.
how often this happens abroad. But in Italy, it's not unusual to read in the newspaper that a person has done something very 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 extreme for that shame. And I know you know whatever we will never be monetized for this video. So people commit suicide in here in Italy for they felt the shame of being late, just in graduation, which is something that. Rationally, I think it's incredibly stupid, but having felt that pressure, I can feel them, and you know, I won't do that, but I can feel why they thought about it and why they did so, and that's just to give you a context of how me and Alessandro grew up and felt this continuous pressure on us. So it's important to feel pressure in what you're doing. I think that if you don't feel pressure while you're working, then you will never be working at your 100%. But on the other hand, it should be positive pressure in terms of once you make small goals, okay, achievable goals, so that once you reach them, you have that satisfaction to push you forward on what you're doing. And the other thing is, and this is most true in Italy, but I think again it's true abroad, that so many jobs are being created with the internet and this new digital era, and we don't know about them. Okay, so many jobs are getting back from the grave. You know, for all the small artisans that are getting, you know, starting to work back. We are rediscovering the beauty of handcraft made stuff. And on the other hand, so much new jobs are coming. So, for example, for me, I am a colorist, and I would say a colorist is something that has existed in the past 20 years, and no more than that, I would say. So from the digital era on. And so I think the first really colored film was Oh Brother Where Thou, which is a 20 years old movie or something. And that was the first movie which used color grading in a way that was visible and was could be called actual color grading and not just, you know, color correction in the darkroom. So yeah.
But also in the past years, the digital markets exploded in some way. So maybe 6-7 years ago, I think Instagram was starting to run because
I think it's 8 years or something.
Famous in 2010 or whatever. Almost. And in that moment was second Facebook. It was not a platform, or no one was saying that.
It got out in 2010 and became famous for selfies, and everyone was doing that face, and everyone thought Instagram was the stupidest thing ever invented.
Exactly. And no one thought about, hey, maybe I can make some money from that. And when you understood that was something very powerful, I said, damn, why I didn't thought about it 10 years ago, whatever.
Yeah, you see those people that started back then now famous, and you say to yourself, why did I do that? It was so simple in a way. You think it's simple, I mean, of course.
And that's also implicated. I was thinking, maybe I'm late. I'm too late. If I don't have 1,000 I have it, a million followers on Instagram, I cannot be a photographer, for example. But then I said, but screw Instagram. I want to do my job, not because of the followers. So yes, of course, you can use Instagram to promote yourself as a online portfolio, whatever. But it's something that you can anyway use even now. Even if you don't have an Instagram account now, you can open it now and grow if you want to grow on Instagram, and use social network to be someone on the net, of course, on the network, but you will become someone for yourself using a social network. And that's, I think, is the most thing, or that you have to understand. I've been stuck in this, I shall be photographer or architect, but I don't have followers, so no one will want to see my photos. And then I said no, but photography job.
Yeah, record limit.
And I was saying, I felt like social network now is running mainly the market in some ways, because now if you have followers, you are someone on the network. So maybe clients are more, how to say, when you want to give something to someone.
Giving back?
Eh,
Are willing to
yes.
give you a job? I don't know.
They want to give you a job maybe if you have more followers. But actually it's not true, because we are no one on Instagram. I think we don't reach 2,000 followers if we put our followers together.
Yeah.
So, but
and half of them are friends and are mutual friends, so the numbers are incredibly low.
Yeah, exactly. And I think in the last month, so actually from the 1st January, we almost reached some clients together. I mean, and we are no one, but we are finding our path. And don't think too much about social network. You are still in a good moment to start whatever you want to start now, even if it's a blog or Facebook, YouTube, whatever.
Yeah,
and,
one thing I'm thinking a lot recently is that with the pandemic, everyone thinks it's not a good moment to start. For no one is willing to pay, etc. But actually, what I'm feeling in the market, and that's at least what I'm finding out by reaching clients and stuff, is that actually people want to invest in, for example, commercials and whatever to promote the reality. With the pandemic, they have to get quite new clients, and so they're willing to pay someone new if they can bring something fresh to the market. So
I think it's a good moment to be aggressive on the market.
Exactly.
Go now. Yeah. Be whatever you want to be.
Exactly. And one thing that I think we are skipping, but it's important, is that by completely changing your life, you're gonna feel like you're throwing away years of your life. Okay. I think this is mutual for me and you. We both felt like we were throwing away, I would say, 2/3 of our life. Okay. If you put this in perspective, I've studied between high school and college for 8 years? No, more, almost 10 years, I would say. So 10 years of my life. I'm 27, so more than 2/3 of my life, and I was throwing that away. Okay, so 1/3. Sorry, math is
but in general, we spent the whole study career doing this thing. So because I will not count the 0 to 10 years. I was playing with toys and video games, so I'm still playing with toys and video games. But exactly. Basically we spent the whole life doing something, and now we are facing something completely different, or anyway, it's not so directly related maybe. And but I think both of us are using our background to build something different. For example, as I mentioned before, I'm using architecture to build my career, because I spent some time studying composition or studying images or anyway colors, and in some ways I'm using my skills, all the things that I learned, because I also learn how to see the things in different way. I'm using it for architecture, for photography of art, and I think also you two are doing something like kind of related maybe.
Yeah, so not that related to mechanical engineering. So for me, what I got and what I'm keeping with me from mechanical engineering at most is the mindset that engineering gives you in terms of technicality, how important technicality is, how important to be knowledgeable is, and also of course the the ability to study a lot of information and store them, okay, in an efficient way.
Yeah.
So I find myself to be not an expert. I wanna say I'm not expert in any possible field, but to be at least.
No, but for example,
as knowledgeable.
you're very skilled. You are very skilled because, for example, now you are helping me building my computer. You built a drone. I mean, you built a lot of drones.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, definitely.
that's
And
something. Maybe it's not directly related with the colorist job, but for example, you are super technical. So you are super. For you, it's super easy to understand maybe a workflow in DaVinci and or how to set up a computer for DaVinci or for render.
Exactly.
Whatever.
That is what
And
I
that's
think
super
is helping me.
important. Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
so
super
also one thing I think is important is the ability, you know, keep learning. For both of us, we went to college, so we know the importance of knowing your field and
Yeah.
continuously studying the evolution of your field. For in particular in digital market, it's continuously evolving, continuously changing, and so being able to keep the pace of the evolution and the market
Yeah.
is incredibly important. As for me, for example, in color grading, DaVinci itself is continuously upgrading, adding new tools, and so just, you know, reading through the manuals to learn the new features, new color size profiles, HDR, whatever. It's all new. It's all
Yeah.
coming out, and on the other hand, we're both starting working in production, so we both work in post-production and production. So Alessandro is maybe more on the production side, I'm more on the post-production side, but we mix these two things together. And for me, for
Yeah.
example, and that's related to also how I like knowledge for myself in terms of whatever I tend to look at, I like to go into details, and that's again the mindset from engineering. A good thing, a good, I would say, way to sum up engineering is to find a problem for every solution and a solution for every problem. So once I deep into something which might be, you know, drone stuff, so building my own drones to make them as good as I can and exactly fit to my needs. Computers, again, going deep into the technicalities, although again I'm not an expert in neither of the fields. And that's the same thing in color grading and in production, and that is value that I can add to my work. I mean, everyone can jump into DaVinci, learn how to color grade and start color grading, but one thing is to being able to do a proper color grade, and the other thing is to being able to talk with the client about what you did, explain it in a way that they can, you know, you can create a dialogue, and also being able to help the client while still shooting. For example, for me, that's one big plus that I'm giving to the client. Being able to help them building the shot so that they can get the most out of color grading then. And so these are all things that mechanical engineering gave me, although they are not directly related to motors or, you know, forces and whatever. And so yeah, that's definitely something I will bring with me my entire life. And as you said, you on the other hand studied art a lot, so spent hours and years studying composition, color science, materials, textures, and that is also, they are all things that can help you a lot in terms of photography, shooting, creating the frames, etc. You know, I remember you told me in architecture is incredibly important. Also the way the light plays with the emptiness and the feels of the structure. So, you know, also how lights play a big role. So.
But also, for example, I knew some guys that they were doing architecture or other things, and for example, they start to develop some passion about making cocktails or doing media manager or doing completely different stuff like running a restaurant, and maybe they knew this skill of taking photos because maybe they were involved in some ways taking pictures for themselves like a hobby, and so they are complementing these two things. For example, I have this friend that is doing cocktails and recording, doing lessons, and or starting now this kind of passion, and is doing something different. Is no one can say like when you are in the high school, say, hey, maybe you can run a cocktail academy online and record yourself and make some nice photos about your cocktails, and then you can become rich. For example, in Italy there is a famous woman, and she was
So I'll mute myself for a second for the house bell, house phone is ringing. Sorry. No, please go on. I'll just mute myself.
Yeah, but I want to dance a bit. So, for example, I have there is this girl that she's running this yoga academy now, and a few years ago she was a normal yoga teacher, and now she started to build a business online, recording herself, building a Instagram account, super well related, of course. And now she's making millions of money. I mean, really, literally, she's doing a lot of money. So I don't think you have to think, I studied a lot or I spent a lot of years doing this particular field of job or studies, and so now I don't want to quit because I don't have any alternatives. Maybe you can in some ways build your activity, your photography career, your colorist career, your video making career, or something different. It doesn't matter, and using your your self-made skill. So I think this is okay. It's a good way to start to do your new career, your new job. Because
definitely.
Yes. You're back. And
I mean, if you have a passion that is just a hobby, and again, we are talking about video making for that's what we do at most, but that could be related to anything. If you have a passion and...
I have 4 minutes left. My camera, my memory is running out. Lexer, send me some memory card. You're so expensive.
Let's make it super quick. So, as I was saying, if you have something that's your passion and you want to create, passive income in the meantime while you're starting your career, and in the meantime you want to practice with it, just film yourself doing whatever. But I play the guitar, for example, and I did some videos in which I just played the guitar, but just for the sake of learning how to set up, proper lighting.
You also did some pictures, also, no?
Yeah, definitely.
That was amazing.
Yeah, I'm doing photography as well, and I have some printed back there. And yeah, so definitely use your passion to your advantage. If you want to change your life, and don't be afraid to do it. First, it's never too late in a way. Okay, one thing that we both thought at the beginning was we are too late to jump on a new path, and on the other hand, it's gonna be hard. Don't be silly. Don't be foolish. It's gonna be incredibly hard. I mean, I'm 2 years in right now with color grading, and I'm just starting right now to make an actual living from that.
But on the other hand, will be hard. It will be hard, but in the same time, maybe it will be easy, because if you are doing something that you really like, you love to do photography, you love to do colorist, whatever. If you really love the job that you will do with more pleasure, so you will feel less tired, because maybe even if you work until late, for you it's not working, it's something less tough for you, so will be hard,
or even if it's tough,
to make
it's
a career.
Satisfaction.
Yeah, and I think in some ways it will be more easier, because you will improve better, you will learn faster, you will improve instantly, I think. So yeah, it will be hard, yes, for the career, yes, of course, but for yourself maybe it will be not so hard. You will not, for sure you will have
at least it will
bad
be
moment,
I would say.
Yeah. Or anyway, you will face some moments that will say, fuck, maybe I make the bad decision or the worst decision ever, but even that you will have time to go back. If you fail, maybe you say, I want to sing, and you're suck singing, and then you can come back to your whole job and doing what you was doing before, or doing another thing again. So yeah,
definitely. So there's so much we could talk about, I think, still.
Yeah, we can spend
he has a small SD. So Charlie has small SDs,
Yeah, it's very very small. Italians.
Yeah, he's been ashamed
don't
of
do it
that
better.
his entire life for his small SDs.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's time to wrap this up. Thanks so much for
Yeah.
watching, everyone. And so from now on, we should be posting at least one of these videos together once a week, and possibly
Yeah.
two other videos, so 2 solo videos a week each.
And
Possibly,
as soon as COVID will finish, we will shoot a bit more together.
yes,
physically
possibly yes.
together.
We should be together filming at the end of the month, but
In the next month,
we'll
yeah.
see. We'll see how this goes. We'll keep you posted. And by the way, follow us on Instagram if you want to
We will
be
link
updated.
our nickname
Everything
in the comments.
And also we're on Fiverr, so if you want to collaborate with us with color grading, he's doing photo retouching and architectural rendering. So if you want, we're on Fiverr. Again, links in the description below.
Yep.
You can check them out and give it a go if you want. So again, thank you so much for watching. I'm Riccardo,
Grazie.
aka Grazie a tutti. And
Riccardo, what are you doing?
Mamma mia, it's not how you record the
Mamma mia.
video. Okay, so again,
How do
thanks
you
so-
record a video?
I don't know. I've never learned how to do so. So
Oh my god, I'm running! I'm running out. Oh my god, it's like
okay,
I'm
bye
dying.
bye. Say super bye bye.
Bye.
Super fast bye bye. Hey!
Ciao!
Ciao ne.
Mamma mia!
Ok, a posto.
Mamma mia!